50 beeps cut. Woohoo! Like, hey, this was expected. I mean, it's a couple people said, are bank bosses bullying? Are the banks bullying Tiff Macklem? I mean, if you've got basically every bank in Canada saying, yeah, we need 50. We need a 50 beep cut. Time for 50. Better go 50. We think it should be 50. Is that bullying? I don't know. Maybe it's all just because bankers do know things that, not all of us see. Bankers see things in the economy early, like they really do. They see default. They see bad debt. They see unusual credit card use. They see they see declining balances in checking accounts and savings accounts. They see things we don't see. So every single bank said, you better cut 50. And he did. So there we go. Tiff gets bullied into 50. Now, it was probably just, he probably just felt he had to do it. Like sometimes I beat up on Tiff Macklem relentlessly. Sometimes I just say it's inevitable. So it also means something bad. Let's be clear. Good news for people with variable mortgage rates, drops 0.5%. Good news for people with home equity lines of credit, drops 0.5%. Good news even for people with personal lines of credit tied to prime, it drops. Yes, it drops. Everything good. For those folks, everything good. I get it. Some people are always looking for high rates. I get those rates real high and then people will lose their houses and I might be able to buy a house on the cheap. I understand your thoughts. I understand that young people have been deprived from housing in this country. I understand the unfairness of all of it. But at the end of the day, we still have millions of Canadians with families who could use a rate cut. I mean, they've got huge increases that they've experienced on their variable rate mortgage. They are coming up on a renewal where they, really need some help because every renewal is way up. Hey, sometimes you just have to err on the side of the angels and say, for the people, the millions of families who have this issue, it would be good to have lower interest rates. I mean, it just would be for those folks. So what does it mean? It means something bad. It means bad news in the economy. I just referred to how the Bank of Canada has access to the big banks, very day-to-day kind of insider access. And the banks will tell the Bank of Canada if things aren't going so hot. I mean, the Bank of Canada has hundreds and hundreds of economists and statisticians who are just there to figure out, how are things going? And clearly not good. If you've got a 50 beeps cut, 0.5% cut, that's referred to in the business of being a central banker as an emergency cut, as to go into the most common language, a holy fuck, we're in trouble cut. All right, that's what kind of a cut 50 beeps is. Like 75 beeps would have been, I'm going to jump out the window next because it's so bad. But this is 50, and 50 was essentially expected. Now, again, not good news. Not good news for Canada because it reflects badly on the future of the economy. It just does. It's as simple as that. It's about a central bank, which pulls the most important economic levers in our country, saying, everything looks bad. Everything looks bad, and we need to drop interest rates because our plan to break inflation, and let's face it, however you slice it, inflation's down. I mean, prices are not down, but inflation rate is down. The plan to break the back of the inflation rate has come to pass. I know there's a lot of people out there who will argue, wait, it'll all come back, you'll see. Or there's a bunch of people who are also saying, my God, Ron, don't you realize the Canadian dollar is going to go to rat shit? It is going to go down the rat hole of terribleness. And pretty soon we'll have a 50-cent dollar versus the US dollar, which is terrible and will bring back inflation. Okay, maybe I'm in the camp of let's wait and see. Let's wait and see about the Canadian dollar. Because if the Federal Reserve continues to cut, as they cut last time, big 50 beep, quote unquote, emergency cut, then we could easily see them cut again. And hey, let's face it. I've lived through a 60-cent Canadian dollar. The world didn't come to an end. It wasn't pleasant. Couldn't travel anywhere but Canada, unless you wanted to get a second mortgage. But it's not the end of the world. And basically, we've been promised a falling Canadian dollar for the better part of a year now, and it's down a touch, but it's not down a ton. So we just have to accept that. We're also a bit of a petrocurrency. The Canadian dollar also relates to the cost of energy. So because we are a net energy exporter in Canada, that's just where we're at. Look, 50 beeps, it happened. There'll be another one. They won't stop now. There will be a 25 basis point cut in December. It will happen. And we will end up at some time next year at a final point where the Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem puts up his hand and says, we're stopping now. Stopping now. And where that is, it's at least 3%, so there's more to come. 3%. It could easily be 2.5%, which is even more to come. And folks, if the economy continues to decline, it could be 2%. That could be the neutral rate where the Bank of Canada Governor stops. We're going to find out. But today, 50 beeps. Good news for variable rate holders, good news for HELOC holders, and bad news for the future of the Canadian economy. That's what it really means.